Merry Christmas, everybody out there in YouTube land. Rat2501 here, continue on our little Christmas get-together. Alright, so, right here, we have something interesting. A complete history of Old Nick and Australian Christmas / Smissmas. I don't think I ever did this one. I couldn't find it on my videos when I searched for it, so, I don't know, it might be old. Maybe I just did it last year, I don't know. So, yeah, let's have a look here. And, oh yeah, this is by After Breakfast with Squim Jim. You know, he does all the complete history things for TF2. Alright, so let's go. After breakfast. After the break of fast.
This is Old Nick.
Yep.
Real name, Nicholas Crowder. Job, being the spirit of Australian Christmas, I guess. I'm not sure if that
Really?
counts as a job, but if
It
not,
can.
then I guess kidnapping kids is his job.
Ha!
Don't worry, I heard you guys loud and clear. I know you
Soldier,
guys have
soldier,
been for
soldier.
a long time now. Here I was thinking
Dual Nick or something, I don't care.
2011. And I was right in thinking that. But that's not going to stop me from making a Christmas-themed history video.
There you
Or
go.
should I say Australian Christmas themed?
Smissmas, dude.
In the
Smissmas.
TF2 universe, those are kind of like two separate holidays. But we'll get to that later. Old Nick is an old man who has a cape made out of koalas and wears a reindeer skull on his head.
Asshole.
And he's essentially the TF2 universe version of Santa. But if you're new to TF2 and haven't tried to actively catch up on years worth of
Pyro will still destroy your life.
there's a good chance you might not have heard of him. 2010 was the first year that Team Fortress 2 received a major update in December that was actually holiday themed. Prior to that, we only had the War update, which was, you know, more war themed. But 2010 had the Australian Christmas update, which introduced.
Why can't we
new
have
updates,
have Nick
but
in the
also
game
brought
though?
new
That's what I
characters
want.
Nick and told the story of Australian Christmas.
Though we did get a pretty big
And
update this
legend
year.
has it that on December 18th, 1788, not long after Australia was first colonized, an old cutthroat named Nicholas Crowder arrived there on a boat with some other settlers. He took one look at the heat and privations, said, "Screw this," stole the boat, and headed down to conquer the South Pole. From
Conquer
then on,
the
Old
South
Nick
Pole?
would spy on the children of Australia and return every December 18th to determine if the Australian children have been naughty or nice. The nice kids get
damn.
the gift of not being abducted, while the naughty kids get the gift of being abducted and
Being
brought back
abducted.
to the South Pole where they're used as slave labor at Old Nick's sweatshop. For the next 12 months, these kids make hats and weapons to Old Nick's exact specifications. Then every year,
Crappy.
on December 17th, they're all gift-wrapped and brought back to Nick's mansion where he opens them. And
Where
since
he
Old Nick
opens
just
them.
has so many slaves, he's bound to get some duplicate items, which he promptly sells the next day at prices so low, he's practically giving them away. Given what we see here, we could
Yeah.
probably make the assumption
So
that
basically,
he
Old Nick is Walmart.
weapons for dirt cheap and then passes them off as their own. I like to think that the Ullapool caper was made by child slaves and that Manco just slapped their label on it.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that is something that Saxon would do.
But I thought TF2's December update was called Smissmas, not Australian Christmas, you say as drool drips down your ignorant, uncultured face. While both of these holidays exist in TF2 land, imagine it, more than one holiday in December, it's outrageous.
God,
Well,
no.
I guess I should say that both
No.
of these holidays existed in the TF2 universe. Australian Christmas died with Old Nick when both holidays collided in the comic A Smissmas Story. But where did Smissmas even come from, you ask?
I know he's supposed to be dead, but then so is Gray Man,
Well,
according to
I'll
the
tell you.
comics. But we still have
In
MVM.
November 2011, the TF2 team made a blog post asking for community members to make new items to coincide with a certain upcoming holiday that their legal department wouldn't let them mention. But
Dude!
it rhymes with Smissmas, and thus Smissmas was born.
Oh my
Kind
god.
of stuck. Later in the blog
That's
post
cool, I
of
like that, though.
2011's Australian Christmas update that led to the Smissmas story comic, they said that in this clash of holidays, only one would leave. And they kept their word. Smissmas won and Australian Christmas faded away. Only to be mentioned like once more in a sniper voice line.
It's an Australian
In
Christmas
that comic,
bloody
Scout,
miracle.
Spy, and Soldier are sentenced to community service after blowing up a mall Santa training facility.
Dude.
Soldier becomes the True Fort Mall Santa, Scout is an elf, and Spy is... he's just there watching, I guess.
Spy.
But then Old Nick comes in to kidnap the children, and Scout and Soldier fight him off, while Spy convinces Little Jack to stab Old Nick in the neck when he...
That was epic as shit.
The first Australian Christmas kind of made it seem like Old Nick only kidnapped Australian kids, but now for some reason he's showing up in New Mexico. Maybe there aren't enough kids left in Australia, or maybe Australia has made the kids too strong to kidnap.
Probably.
But either way,
Probably
he's
that.
abandoning his kidnapping game. And yeah, after Old Nick died, he hasn't been seen. He's barely even been mentioned. Which is a little bit weird because TF2 comics and updates don't always take place in chronological order, so he could show up.
I would like to see him show up in a later update. Well, you guys.
Nick lived that long to begin with. I mean, he'd be over 200 years old by the time a Smissmas story takes place. So
yeah, but he does look like Marasmus.
He doesn't die of old age. He has flying reindeer and kangaroo and something.
Kangaroo.
His eyes. He's portrayed as having completely white eyes or very, very light pupils. And he also wears a skull hat. You know who else is really old and wears the skull hat? Marasmus.
Yep.
Is old Nick actually a secret wizard? Get on it.
Possibly. Yeah.
I know nobody cares at this point, but
game theory.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah,
it's
me too.
It's weird that within one
I
year,
go for it.
2 old guys wearing skulls from their heads show up in TF2 and they're not related in any way. And according to the True Meaning comic, old
press
Nick
X to doubt.
also in debt to the mafia, like Marasmus.
What the
It's kind
hell?
of strange. Is it a coincidence? I think not. Why would old Nick suddenly show up in Fort, New Mexico, if not to visit his old buddy Marasmus? See, it all makes too much sense. It practically writes itself. It's not even a game theory. I'm calling it a fact. TF2 writers, if I'm right, don't say anything in the comments. Yep, what did I tell you?
0 comments.
And now it wouldn't be one of these videos if I didn't do
That's just a theory.
So,
a TF2 theory.
Nicholas Crowder is born sometime, probably in the 1700s, or possibly much earlier if he is indeed a wizard. His place of origin is unknown, but given his last name and where he ends up going, I think England would probably be a good bet. On December 18th, 1788, Nick, along with some other settlers, arrive in Australia, but Nick isn't having any of it. So he takes the boat and heads on a one-man voyage to conquer the South Pole, which he does.
Not
Nick
hard,
flies
there's
on
no one
a cruise
there.
to Australia and returns again on December 18th to kidnap any naughty children, probably putting the first Australian Christmas in 1789. The Australian government makes Australian Christmas an official holiday in a ham-fisted attempt to turn a notorious felon into a beloved folk hero.
What the hell?
Legend says that old Nick loves to bet on college basketball and ends up in debt to the mafia. 3 wise guys hunt him down by following a star that leads him to old Nick and his child slaves.
Oh my god.
And this begins the great Australian Christmas shootout between Nick and the mafia.
Awesome.
And they say on Australian Christmas Eve, if you look into the sky, you can still see a light on that sweatshop smokestack. And sometime between 1960...
Wait a second, what did that say though?
You'll see a light.
Shining brightly in the heavens as a beacon to low-flying aircraft and the mafia.
And sometime between 1968 and 1970, old Nick shows up at the Fort Mall where he gets stabbed in the neck and dies.
Yep.
And Australian Christmas is officially over. Presumably with all of those kids still stuck
Nice
in
use of Bicycle Kid. That's true, that's right. With those
And
kids
that
still
is
stuck in
actually
Antarctica.
where it ends this time. For old Nick, at least. Okay, so in a Smissmas story, when asked how it feels to be a hero,
wait a
Scout
second.
responds that it just feels like a Saturday. So we could kind of assume that that comic takes place, you know, like on a Saturday, December 18th. And with the main TF2 storyline taking place between 1968 and 1970, the only year where December 18th falls on a Saturday is 1971. But by that time, the Robot War has already begun, so it's really probably not 1971. But I'm sure I'm looking way too far into that, and at this point, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But anyway, a little while ago, I said I was working on a 2-part video, and obviously this isn't it. But there is other stuff that I want to get done first before I make that, so it won't be out until 2020. And don't worry, I am going to make the Soldier one. It will be next in this series, so you got that to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, I'll get to that one eventually.
Merry Smissmas and happy
Smissmas.
Peace out, dogs.
Okay, wait a sec. What I noticed was something though. That old Nick kidnaps kids and he takes them to the South Pole where he makes them work as slave labor to make toys. Does anybody else think that sounds like the Yule Man from the SCP Foundation? He ritualistically murders families, but he takes at least one child back to his lair, wherever the hell it is. Apparently, the one survivor they managed to get said it was very, very cold, and then he forces them to make crude toys out of the remains of the dead of the children who die. So, yeah, I'm wondering if whoever wrote that for the SCP took this from old Nick or what. What do you guys think? Which one do you guys think came first? That's kind of interesting. Anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed this part of your Christmas presents. There'll be more presents to unwrap coming up. So stay tuned to this channel as they come up throughout the day. I'll see you guys later, and Merry Smissmas!